Hello everyone. Welcome to our live stream today. Okay. Okay, how was your day? Okay. Hello everybody. Welcome to today's live stream for K2 sample paper analyze. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to today's sample paper analyze. Okay, and let's wait for a while for more people to come, and then we will start our analyze today. 那么在今天呢，我们会主要分为3个部分。我们会发现呢，首先第一个部分呢，我是会给大家简单的说一下 TASMO 是什么。在真正的样卷分析的部分呢，我们会用英文的形式去给大家讲题。那么到最后呢，会有一些简单的关于竞赛备考方面的分享。那么那个时候我们会切换回中文。好的，首先呢，先给大家简单的自我介绍一下。那么呢，我是今天为大家进行样卷分析的老师 Grady 老师。那么呢，在屏幕上呢是简单的个人介绍。那么我毕业于南洋理工大学硕士学位，目前呢有着4年的教学经验，线上线下呢累计授课时间是2000个课时。目前呢是现在竞赛班的教练，当然呢也会是咱们2024年新品网的学科负责人，目前也正在带咱们的 K2 年级。好，我们接下来呢来简单的认识一下。我们要知道什么是 TASMO 呢？虽然说咱们能点进今天直播的家长啊，很多都已经是咱们报名了的家长，但是呢，我们还是简单的给大家进行一个自我介绍。那么 TASMO 它的全名呢是 Think Academy Singapore Math Olympiad， 然后取了各自的一个首字字母呢，那么简要的称为 TASMO。那么 TASMO 的主办方呢是咱们新加坡学而思。咱们呢也是为了培养咱们的学生在非常规数学问题上的兴趣，那么同时呢，在小高部分呢，我们是会对标新加坡最难的奥数比赛。那么我们之所以提供这样一个考试，这样一个竞赛，给大家有这样的机会来参加一个比赛，也是为了给小朋友们提供一个锻炼数学技巧的平台，并且呢，也希望能在这个过程中帮小朋友阶段性的更加了解自己在国际化数学竞赛中的水平。好，那么我们再接下来看一下，在正式开始样卷讲解之前呢，我们来简单的看一下。那么我们都说了，我们要参加一场比赛，我们要打一场仗，我们不可能说什么都不准备。我们在考试的前一天，我睡一个好觉，第2天就参加考试，不可能的。咱们其实已经有这个意识了，所以大家现在点进了直播间呢，来进行这样一个样卷分析的考察以及听对应的讲解。我们来看一下这个试卷的构成。首先呢，我们一共是会有一个非常简单的提问哈。我们现在会发现 Section A 有10道题 ，Section B 有5道题 ，Section C 也有5道题。那么我们 K2 的总题量是多少呢？其实我们已经在这里列举出来了啊，我们是多少呀？ 我们会有一共20道题，因为我们 K2 还只是小朋友，所以我们只准备了20道题。但是呢，对于他们来说，要在60分钟内完成一个20道题的考试，还是挺难的。所以我们来看一下具体的每个板块我们会有哪些内容。那么我们会分为3个 section， 我们会分别有 section A、section B and section C。我们会发现 section A 呢，它会有10个 MCQ， 也就是选择题。选择题呢，对于小朋友的能力考察呢，相对会没有那么难，所以每一道题呢是3分。到 section B 呢是中档题，这个时候呢，每一道题呢就会到6分。然后 section C 呢同样是5道题，它是一些填空题，每一道题呢是8分。我们从分值的分布上，也可以对于整个考试试卷的类型以及我们想要考察的难度有一个简单的认知。所以说呢，我们再来看一下这个地方，我们会发现下面还有一行额外的东西，它这里写了什么呢？0 point for each unanswered or wrong answer。因为如果咱们有家长简单的了解过新加坡的本地竞赛的话，我们会发现，其实呢，很多竞赛像 SMKC 啦，像 TASMO 啦，如果是咱们没有答题，或者是说拿到了错误的答案的话，是会扣分的。但是呢，因为咱们现在K2 还只是小朋友，如果咱们没有答，或者是不小心答错了，那么在这个部分呢，我们是不会扣分的，所有的分数都是累计的。那么以上呢就是简单的介绍部分。本次呢也会分为主要是这2个模块，第一个呢就是样卷讲解，第2个部分呢就是2024年备考，我们到底会有怎样的规划给到大家，要怎么样帮助大家在整个竞赛备考中取得更好的成绩。好，我们来进入正式的样题讲解部分。那么在这个部分呢，我会切换到英文所以说呢 so let's start our today's sample paper explanation about TASMO from K2. Okay, so for last lesson, we already finished 8 questions of our sample paper, and 3 of them from the section A, 2 of them from the section B, and also 1 from the section C. Today, that will be 6 questions. Okay, and then today we're gonna learn another 8 questions. Okay, so for here, let's look at the first one. It says, in order to balance the scale, which set of cookies should the left side? Okay, so for here, we have to do the question here step by step. First of all, we have to know that we have to find out, what do we have to find? Okay, so which means, first of all, we have to observe the both sides of the scale. Because we know that the scale is balanced, which means from the left side and right side, they should have the equal weight. Okay, and let's check. So for right side, we know that we have 20 grams, which means at the same time, we have to know that from the left side, it should also be the 20 grams. So which means for both sides. Okay, let's have another scale here. For both sides, it should also be 20 grams and also the 20 grams. So here is the first step. We have to find a set of cookies and the total weight of it. How can we do that? Which means we have a number here that will be the total weight of the set of cookies plus the weight of the basket, which means that will be 10 grams, equals to 20 grams. Okay, first of all, the kids have to know that the number here, we can use the subtraction to get the correct answer for here, which means the total weight of the set of cookies should be, we use the total number, the sum of them, minus a part of them, which means for here, the total weight of the set should be 10 grams. Okay, so for here, the kids have to know that how can we transfer the addition into the subtraction to get, how can we find out the total weight? Okay, and then what about for next step? Okay, now we know that the total length the whole set. The length of the whole set should be 10 grams. And then we have to check A, B, C, D. We have 4 choices, and we have to find out that the total weight of each other and to check which one is 10 grams. Okay, and then let's check them one by one. So for A, okay, we just count them one by one because all of the cookies are 1 grams. We have 1, okay, check it one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so which means the A, the total length would be 7 grams. Can we choose that? Of course we cannot, because we have to find someone that the total length is 10 grams. So what about for the B? See, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 cookies. But can I just write down the 5 grams? Can I? We cannot, because every cookie, that will be 2 grams. So which means for here, that will be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, we will have 5 2s. All together, we will have 10 grams. Okay, so actually, when we check the answer for B, we already know that the answer here should be B. But here is the very important part. Every time when you are doing the exam, if you have enough time, you'd better check all the choices, because sometimes you cannot just get the correct answer the first moment you met the choice. So now, let's check the others. So what about for the C here? Okay, we have 1, 2 grams plus 3 grams plus 4 grams, which means in total we will have, okay, kids, calculation problems, okay? And now, in total, we will have 9 grams, okay? And then what about for D? Okay, we just list all the equations or count by ourselves. We found out we have 3 cookies, and they are 3 grams, and then 5 grams. Okay, in total, how many weight we have? That will be 11 grams. Okay, so now, after we check all the choices here, we can make sure that we have the correct answer. So now, let's check. We know that for the first question, it's the B. Okay, here is a very important part. As long as you find a bracket, okay, and then if you find out you have the lines under it, you should write down the answer back to the bracket or the blanks. Okay, so this for the fourth question. So now, what about the fifth one? Any ideas? Okay, so for here, let's check it. It says, how many squares are there below? Okay, first of all, we have to be very familiar with the number of the squares. Okay, so let's check it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can easily find out we have 4 squares. But is the correct answer B here? Is that? Any ideas? You sure about that? Okay, so for here, let's check it again. We not only have some squares that we can see, do we have some overlap part we still have the square? Do we have? Okay, so let's check the overlap part for here. Do we have a square here? Do we have? Of course, no. And then what about for here? Very good. I found Fiona says we have 6 in total. See, we not only have the 4 squares right here, we still have, see, 1 and 2 overlap small squares, okay? So when you do the counting problems, first of all, you have to find out what's the size of the squares. Sometimes when you have small squares, sometimes when we have middle squares, sometimes we may even have bigger squares. And we have to list them one by one. For example, for here, if we do the question by ourselves, the first step, we can find out we have 4 separate squares altogether. And then we just find out the overlapping part. And the last step, we just use the addition to get the total number of how many squares we have. Okay, so now this one, the fifth one of the TASMO. Easy? Easy peasy, okay? So now, let's check with the next one. It says, what set of plane shapes can form the solid shapes below? Okay, here's the first question. Is there anyone know that the name of this 3D shape? Do you know the name for that? Okay, let's check whether you listen carefully or if you really know the name for the solid shape here. Do you know that? Okay, so now, I found some of you just get the correct answer. That will be the cube. Cuboid. Okay, so very good. Very good, very good. So for here, we find out we have some choices here. So here is the first question for you. Please tell me, for a cuboid, how many faces should the cuboid have? You know the total number of the faces of the cuboid? That will be, for both the cuboid and cube, they will have, very good, that will be 6 faces. So now we can check the A, B, C, D, the choices we have, which 2 choices we can exclude for now, which means they are definitely not the correct answer. Okay, which means for here, see, for A, it only have 4 faces, and for D, it only have 3 faces. Okay, so now we still don't know for B and D which one is the correct one. This time, please tell me, what's the difference between the B and C? Both of them have the 6, but how can we know that which one is the correct answer? Okay, should that be a parallelogram or a rectangle? Okay, imagine that for here. See, teacher Betty just got a cuboid like this. If you just see that directly in your real life, is the one on the top be a parallelogram or just a method which is drawn here by ourselves, okay, by us? Because when you really have the test, sometimes we don't offer the diagram like this. Okay, for here, we will learn something about train diagram. Do you know why we call them train diagram? Because see, we just have some all the way down to, just like the train goes there. Okay, every time we just all the way go along a direction, and then we can also go back. Okay, so now let's check the question altogether. First of all, we know that the final answer here would be 7. See, did you see the arrow here? Which means we can working backwards. Okay, backwards. That will be a very important thought that you have to learn. We have the 7. How we get the 7? That will be after cooking 3 eggs for dinner. Okay, so now please tell me, for a number minus 3 equals to 7. Can you know the number for here? That's the only thing about calculation, okay? How can we get the number for here? Which means we will have a cherry diagram here, okay? So now we can know that a total number minus a part equals to 3. And then we will left 7, which means the total of them would be, we just use the 3 plus 7 equals to 10. Okay, very good. We'll have the 10 for first blank. Okay, so do we just follow the same method to get the following answers? Okay, so let's check it one by one. Now we know that for this one we have the 10. How we get the 10? The daddy bought back 6 eggs. So which means we got a number here. After we plus 6, we will have the 10 in total. How can we know the number here? Okay, very good, Vivi. Okay, so for here, we found out that it's still the same. We can also use the cherry diagram. We can know that one part is 6. Another part, we just don't know. But finally, we have the 10. Can I get the question mark here by equations? Okay, we can just use the 10 minus 6 equals to 4. So we can just check the 4 right here. And don't forget to write down the 4 here to complete the train diagram. Okay, and then we have, finally we will get to our destination here. And then we have 4. A number minus 4 equals to 4. How can we do that? Can you see similar equation here? See? Just now, a number minus 3 equals to 7. We just use the addition to add them up. So for here, we can also use the addition, which means we have 4 plus 4 equals to how many? Yeah, no 10, that will be 8. But actually for 10 is right here. Okay, pay attention. Which means the final question mark here, we can just write down the 8. Okay, and always don't forget to write down the 8 back to the line here, okay? When you are doing your test paper, you also have to write down all the numbers on the lines. If you only have 8 here, sorry, I cannot give you the points, okay? And then from here, the working backwards will be a very important thought in lower primary school and even for a higher primary school. Okay, for example, let's see some examples of the working backwards. For example, for here we have the minus, for here we have the plus. Actually, we can find out we can both put the equations into the cherry diagram, which means actually we can know that for addition and subtraction. So for the two kinds of the calculation, actually they are working backwards. They are the reverse calculation. Okay, if you don't have any ideas about that, it's okay, because in your later time, you will finally know that. And some of you may not know that the multiplication, oh my god, multiplication and the, sorry, and the division. Okay, let's check it. Okay, so now let's check it. For the multiplication and division, actually, they are also the reverse calculation. Because, for example, just now, if we use the division to show that, okay, so let's go back to check. If we use the division to show the diagram here, we have 2 for every box or packs, and then for every pack we will have 5 apples. And then we can also write the equation as we have 10 in total, and we have 5 groups. For every group we will have 2 apples. See? Can you see the equations from the left side and right side? Actually, they are just look like the symmetrical ones, okay? Which means they are the reverse calculation. Actually, for kids, for K2, even for P1, P2, addition, multiplication, good. But what about for subtraction and division? Sometimes kids will very confused about that. So if we found out our kid is not so good as the subtraction and division, don't worry. It's normal because the working backwards thoughts just not so good for the kids in this age. Okay, and then it's all for the 17th question. And then we still have one more. Familiar with that? Last time, we also have the comparison and replacement because this part is a very important part in your primary school. So for here, let's check this question. See, we have so many things here. First of all, please tell me how many kinds of items we have. How many kinds of things do we have? How many? Okay, we can find out that we have a bear, and we also have the ball, and then we also have the toy car. And then let's check the question. It says, in order to balance the scale, how many toy cars should be put on the right side of the scale below? Okay, which means we already have the diagram for you. We have to know that. For one teddy bear, toy bear, we can exchange for how many toy cars? We have to fill the number in the brackets. Okay, any ideas? How can we do that? How can we do that? We just have so many cars here and so many balls here. And see, the balls on two scales, they just don't have the same amount. One of them have the 2, one of them have the 3. How can we do that? How can we do that? Okay, so for here, let's check it. It says we have to know for one bear for how many cars, which means we just use the toy cars to replace the balls. Okay, and then let's check. It says for works for now? Okay, so let's continue at first. Okay, for here, we know that 1 is 2, 1 is 3. So how can we turn the 3 into the 2s? Okay, so for here, if they have the different amount, we just have to find what's the 1 for. Okay, we can just label the 1 here. So for here, see we have 1, 2, 3 balls. Can I divide it into 3 parts equally? Can I? Okay, so then let's check. Can I also divide the cars here into 3 equal parts? Can I? Okay, so let's check. We can divide it along the line. We have 1 and 2. Okay, so now see, we have equal parts for the balls, and then we have the equal groups for the toy car. Okay, and then how can we do that? How can we know that? Can we know that for one ball, if I have a new scale here, for one ball, how many cars can I exchange? How many can exchange for? Okay, my drawing is very bad. We have 1 car, 2 car, and then 3 car. Okay, if we know that for one ball, we can exchange or the weight is the same as 3 cars. Can we know that how many cars we can replace the 2 balls? Any ideas? Okay, when we have the exchange from the less to more, we just exchange them one by one. Okay, for here we have 3 toy cars. For here we have another 3 toy cars. And altogether, how many cars we will have in total here? That will be very good. Almost all of you just got the answer. That will be 6. Okay, so when you find out that for the, remember that we can call them the little helper, because we just with their help, we got out how many one bears can exchange for the cars. When we find out the number of the little helper is not the same, normally we will find out for one little helper how many we can exchange and then change them one by one. Okay, but sometimes things will become different here. What about for this one? Even though this one is not on the sample paper, it's worth you to find out the method to do that, because that will be a totally different idea to do the question just now. Okay, actually for such question, we emphasize that for last lesson, but this time we still have to check if you still remember how to do that. Okay, observe the picture How many bumps weighs the same as the pineapple? See, this time it's still not the same. We have the 4 pitches for the left side and then 2 pitches for the right side. How can we do that? Can we do the same thing? See, we have 2 pitches and we have 3 bounds. Can I just cut the bound in the middle? Can I? You do not know? If you do not know, we can check together. Can I just cut the bound in the middle? Of course we cannot, because we have to find the whole numbers. So what should we do? What should we do? This time, we cannot find how many for 1 pitches. Any ideas? Maybe we can do something different. See, just now when we do the multiplication table, we just pack 2 apples all together. This time, what if I tell you, I can pack the peaches here? Okay, so now please tell me, for 1 pack of the peaches, how many bumps can I exchange? We can change for 3 bumps. Okay, so now, can you find out any packs on the left scale? Okay, maybe we just also do the same thing. We will exchange them one by one. First of all, see, for the first pack, how many bumps can I exchange? We can exchange for 3. And then what about another pack? We also have a 3. Okay, very good. Which means altogether, we just list the equation here. 3 plus 3 equals to 6. Okay, which means the correct answer here should be the 6. So for the comparison and the replacement, it will be very important because this is the foundation of how we do the more difficult things in a later time. And let's check. This is all for the sample paper analyze. Okay. 如果说呢，大家对于刚才讲解的这8道题目还有任何不清楚的地方，或者小朋友觉得有哪些地方不太明白，都可以随时去添加我们 staff 的微信，就是工作人员的微信。一呢可以获取回放，二如果有不知道的地方呢，也可以去通过他们来联系到我们老师，来给大家讲解对应的题目。当然呢，如果说对于刚才提到过的延展的题目或者是方法有什么不太明白的地方的呢，咱们也可以去添加工作人员的微信，或者是说进群来进行一个对应的提问。那么因为咱们在微信端这边直播嘛，所以说呢，第2个部分在一开始的时候也跟大家说过了，我们会用中文去给大家去介绍2024年竞赛备考的一个规划。因为咱们会报考 TASMO 的家长呢，其实本身对于数学竞赛还是有一定的想法的，再加上 K2 这个年级呢，咱们就是说不要给孩子们太多的局限，因为这个年级的孩子他不存在说真的不会，只是说他有没有接触过，有没有去系统的学习过。所以说呢，我们就来看一下，我们在这个时间节点，我们应该怎么样去给小朋友的小学进行一个简单的规划。可能呢，会关注到并且给小朋友报名了像我们 TASMO 竞赛的家长呢，可能对于小学呢已经有了一定的规划，但是呢，我们这边呢简单的给大家提一下。好，首先呢，我们现在是 K2， 我们马上就要进入 P1、P2 的阶段。那么首先我们会发现，目前呢，明年1月份开学的话，我们正处在一个幼升小的一个过渡期。那么有3个比较重要的内容，一个呢是专注力。因为我们会发现，如果我们从幼儿园到了小学的话呢，首先课程的种类会增多，然后呢，咱们课程的时长也会变长。再次呢，就是小学老师给到班上每一个小朋友的关注度，相对来说是没有幼儿园的时候多的。所以这个时候呢，对于小朋友专注能力的考察呢，就会变得更加的高。这个时候呢，就是要在这个方面有更多的练习和训练。那么第2个呢，就是表达能力。因为到了小学呢，我们可以说就是已经正式的成为一个要踏入正式的学习生涯的小学生了。这个时候呢，会有很多的集体生活，以及说老师不同科目的老师给到对应的问题的时候，咱们的小朋友能不能很好的表达自己的要求， 因为还是同样的原因，可能小学的老师呢没有办法像学前的老师一样给到那么多的关注，所以说呢，我们要在表达上进行一定的训练。那么第三个部分，比如说他们会有很多的科目，哪怕是像数学，比如说进入1年级、2年级，他们就会需要去记对应的乘法口诀表呀，或者是好朋友数呀一类的。第二个呢，计算为主是什么意思呢？我们这里说数感，也就是所谓的 number sense。因为呢，如果大家稍微研究过 MOE 的课本的话，没有研究过也没有关系啊，因为这是我们的事情。我们会发现，在整个 P1、P2 乃至 P3阶段呢，计算都是绝对的重头戏。比如说，像他们下个学期的课本 Term 1一共有10节课，有8节课都在讲20以内的加减法。那么这个呢是关于幼升小过渡期以及我们知识点上的主要变化。那么在 P1、P2 有哪些值得关注的奥数比赛呢？我们会主要有2个，一个呢是 Math Kangaroo， 也就是袋鼠，一个呢就是 TASMO。因为 TASMO 呢，它考的应用题会偏多，就像我之前跟大家说过的，对于这个年纪的小朋友来说呢，读题还会是一个比较大的问题。但是呢 ，TASMO 一是难度比较大，二是应用题比较多，所以呢，如果咱们是要升新 P1 的话，我们会更加推荐小朋友们去试一下袋鼠，因为我们来看一下袋鼠，它会主要考察小朋友的逻辑、观察以及空间想象，实际上就是很多图啦，就是看小朋友能不能通过图来给到一个逻辑上的反馈。至于 P3、P4、P5、P6 呢，大家也可以大致的看一下，因为很多时候 P3 才会是一个分水岭。就是我们是否，能够真正意识到，或者说清楚的知道小朋友到底是要走哪条路，到底我们是要接着走数学竞赛，去走 DSA 呢，还是说我们最终还是决定去 PSLE 呢？以及呢，在 P3 的时候还有一个非常重要的考试叫做 GEP， 那么这个都是一些比较重要的部分。好。接下来呢，我们来简单的看一下。刚才我们提到了一点幼小能力过渡，我们来具体的看一下。首先第一个呢是 attention， 刚才已经说过了。接下来这个 observation， 也就是说我们能否准确的观察到图形，以及其实几何啊、初步的逻辑推理，尤其是图形推理，它都是一个观察的过程。number sense 就可以过渡到刚才所说过的 calculation， 然后呢，逻辑推理、空间想象能力、记忆力，以及最后的这一个呢，是考察大家的一个动手能力。所以我们会发现有一个很大的变化是什么呢？我们会有一个 huge calculation， 因为我们很多时候在现代的阶段还是在停留一些纸面上的算式的练习，但是我们到了 P1、P2 呢，就会有很多比如说在网上一些多位数的计算啦、加减法啦，接下来就是 comprehension of word problems， 也就是刚才提到过的语言问题 geometrical sense，主要是空间想象能力。目前呢，我们对于小朋友的要求还停留在 abilities， 还没有进行到具体的题目。只要你知道有概念它是什么，就 OK， 你已经满足了你这个年龄需要的能力。但是到了小学呢，情况就发生了变化。在小学阶段呢，我们把所有的知识点分成了以下5个部分，分别是计算、几何、应用题、数论以及组合。我们可以简单的看一下，比如说刚才我们提到过的 rotation。Knowing reflections of symmetry observation， 这个呢其实都是在 TASMO 我们有考察到的，也是之后需要大家关注的竞赛我们可以去看到的一些题型。然后呢，像应用题就是整个小学阶段乃至 JCE 都非常重要的一个题型，它有非常多的，比如说 comparison model 啦，就是和差倍问题啦、年龄问题啦、间隔问题啦、鸡兔同笼问题啦之类的。这个呢就需要小朋友在之后的小学时光里去慢慢学习了。然后像技术数论，比如说一开始刚才数正方形的时候，我们能否很条理的把这些东西数出来，这就是一个需要大家去进行一个练习的过程。最后一个呢是 combinatorics， 是组合，比如说这里的 enumeration， 初步的枚举以及逻辑推理，这个部分呢是整个5大模块里最难的一个部分，所以说呢，咱们需要小朋友一点点的去积累。刚才也说过了，我们比较推荐小朋友们去考 SMKC， 为什么呢？首先第一点，老师刚才说过了，这个阶段的小朋友呀，没有什么会不会的，只有你说有没有见过，有没有提前学习过。那么第二个原因呢，就是我们要给小朋友更多的可能性。 我们觉得可能太难了，万一做不来怎么办呢？但是我刚才也说过了，袋鼠呢它更多的是图形题、推理题，它可能对于小朋友对于语言能力呀以及很深的逻辑没有太大的要求。第三个原因呢，是我们在小学阶段，尤其是 MOE 体系下啊，国际学校其实也差不多，在 GEP 之前其实是没有非常正式的大考的。那么如果我们能够在年纪还小的时候呢，进行一些简单的，考试，比如说像这种竞赛，进行考试素质的培养，以及进行一个磨练的话，会是一个非常好的部分。那么我们来看一下。我们一共有这些年的真题分析，现在有一个问题考一下大家，我们来看一下，综合一下这6个圆圈，你们能发现哪2个部分是最多的呀？是占比最大的呀？是 DSA，就是你要走 DSA 吗？好，我们会发现占比最大的，一个是图形，一个是应用，因为这2个呢，图形呢，就是刚才说过的，袋鼠的特点呢，就是它会给你很多的图，它对于你读题能力，也就是说，比如说很长的 word problem 要求不会那么高。第2个呢，就是应用能力，因为它虽然是数学竞赛，它还是更多的强调我们要在生活中可以真正的应用到数学，就像咱们中国翻译 word problem 是不是翻译成应用题，就是考察不同知识点在生活场景下是怎么样去用到我们的数学的。那么我们简单的用2道题目来感知一下袋鼠的难度。首先呢 it says there are 10 camels in the zoo. The camels are either bacterian or dromedary, 就是 with 2 humps and 1 hump. In total, there are 14 humps. Find the number of bacterian camels in the zoo. OK， 我们可以看中文的题干，也可以看英文的题干，都是一样的啊。所以说这个时候，如果说我们还就是对数学比较敏锐，或者说小学数学比较好的家长，这个时候应该已经可以看出来了，这道题目本质上是一个什么样的题目呀？它是一个鸡兔同笼问题。那么鸡兔同笼我们会用什么样的方法呢？我们有2种方法，一种是列表，一种是假设。比如说像这里，我们只有14个驼峰和10只骆驼，那么这个时候呢，我们就可以把列表列下来。比如说，我就是双峰驼和单峰驼，反正总数是10只，比如说9和1呀，8和2啊。那么对应的呢，它们分别是哪些数字？我们是否能够准确的找出14个驼峰？我们是可以通过这样的方式，也就是列表法来做的。但是如果我们能够更快的做出这道题的话，就是用假设法。因为咱们知道，如果是竞赛的话，它不光是对于知识的考察，同时呢，也是对于考试素质以及时间分配的考察。那么这个时候呢，我们就会用到假设法。比如说，我们现在知道有单峰驼和双峰驼，假设这10只骆驼全部都是单峰驼，那我们一共会有几个驼峰啊？我们就一共会有10个驼峰。但是我们现在有14个驼峰，我们其实可以用图表来表示了。比如说，我们现在假设这就是一个驼峰，我们现在有10个驼峰，那我们相当于我们最后要有14个驼峰，我们要怎么变化呀？我们就要把某些单峰驼变成双峰驼。好，现在问题来了，从单峰驼到双峰驼，每换一只骆驼，我们会多几个峰啊？多1个峰。所以呢，就意味着我们现在差多少需要去转化呀？差4个驼峰。我们这个时候呢，就要用4来除以我们每换一只骆驼，可以多得到几个驼峰来得到答案。所以我们会发现，这个时候呢，这个4就是我们得到的。好，问题来了，它是单峰驼还是双峰驼啊？因为是每多一个峰，就是我们把它从单峰驼变成了双峰驼，所以这个数量应该是双峰驼的数量。所以呢，我们这个时候就可以得到答案是 D。然后呢，像下一个题目，他说什么呢？他说 Three squirrels， 我们有3只松鼠啊，就直接先给大家说中文吧。一共采集了7个坚果。其实这个呢，就是刚才提到过的 enumeration， 也就是排列组合。他说呢，每只松鼠采集的坚果数量不同，但每只松鼠至少采集了1个坚果。 相当于什么呢？我们不仅要把所有的可能性枚举出来，我们还要根据它给到的鉴定条件去排除或者说准确的理解到题意，并且除此之外呢，它还会有一个东西是什么呢？是 comparison 排序。比如说 Annie 是最少的 ，Asia 是最多的，那么 Ellie 到底采了多少个坚果？所以刚才提到过，排列组合里面组合是5个板块中最难的部分。好，我们接下来呢，如果说觉得小朋友确实没有必要考一下 TASMO 或者是 SMKC 的，这里呢给到大家拉出来一个简单的时间轴。首先呢，我们11月13号不是会考到我们的 TASMO 吗？我们可以把它认为是一个摸底考或者是阶段测。然后呢，通过这个来知道，哪些模块我们还不太熟悉啊？那么到了1月初呢，官方就会开始发布报名信息，我们也会在对应的时间内给到大家摸底考，去看一下，我们通过2个月时间的打卡学习有没有什么长进啊？到了1月到2月的时候呢，我们会有对应的短期班以及往年的 Past Year Paper 真题讲解。到了2月底，如果说小朋友觉得自己程度不错，我们就会有一个选拔出来的金牌班来帮助大家更加系统的进行代数的备考。那么呢，我们都说了，名字叫金牌班，就是说希望小朋友们至少得拿到银牌，然后我们再来进行一个冲刺，然后3月底4月底呢就开始进入战场，完成杀敌的动作。我们来简单呢回顾一下，其实呢代数的真题它主要是这几个思想，以及 TASMO 的真题其实也有体现这几个思想。比如说枚举，刚才提到过的，假设奇图同笼问题，排除像我们一开始看展开图就是分割图的时候呢 ，plane shapes， 我们要怎么样根据数量先排除一部分，然后再根据对应不同点的图形去排除。再比如这个突破思想，我们首先要缩小范围，比如说我们在做等量代换的时候，我们到底是要用打包法呢，还是标一法呢，还是要把它先归成同一类，再去进行计算呢？接下来这个倒推思想呢，就是我们刚才说过的，我们要怎么样去反向的去分析刚才讲过的 train diagram。接下来的这个站位思想呢，这个咱们后续会提到。那我们来简单的看一下啊，我们就是大致浏览一下，我们会发现其实我们的模块就是根据我们的5大模块去分析的，比如说计算啦、计数啦、几何啦、组合啦。所以呢，肯定是比校内大纲难一点的，也会给到大家在这个年级一个很好的补充和拓展。那么最后呢，时间也剩个2-3分钟左右，我们的原则就是对于这个年级的小朋友来说呢，数学一定是要让他们在获得成就感的同时，不失去学习兴趣，快乐的学习，因为只有这样子，他们才可以真正的坚持到这个逻辑思维的锻炼。这样的话，我们对于之后其他科目的学习也非常的有帮助。最后呢，简单的跟大家讲一讲心里话。其实数学呢，不光是说我们要做题目，或者说我们做竞赛，就真的是一定要孩子拿到很好的成绩，或者说一定要拿奖牌吗？不是的。数学呢，它主要是培养孩子思考问题的习惯，以及呢未来解决问题的方式方法。咱们不是有句老话吗？学好数理化，走遍天下都不怕。数学好的人啊，逻辑思维能力一定不会太差，在进行其他学科的能力迁移的时候呢，也会比其他的小朋友相对更快一点。那么也预祝大家在 TASMO 中取得好成绩。下周呢 Olivia 老师会带着大家把 TASMO 样卷剩下的部分给大家讲解到，所以说呢，我们也可以在那个时候，如果有什么不会的，也希望大家准时在下周2同一时间收听，甚至呢，可以在带着一些自己不确定的问题，比如说我们还没有报名的，就是听了咱们之后觉得推荐朋友可以考一下的，我们都可以扫一下2维码，或者是添加一下工作人员的微信。我们现在距离报名倒计时还有2天啊 ，TASMO 报名结束还有2天，所以如果说还没有报名的话，也可以去找自己的小伙伴去组团报名一下。那么今天的内容差不多到这里就结束了，我们家长朋友看有没有什么问题呀？如果有任何的问题，都可以加入群聊去沟通啊，我们老师都是会直接在群里面给大家回复的。这位可爱的小朋友，你的 CCA 怎么啦？如果说咱们没有什么问题的话，咱们后续也可以在添加小助手的微信之后呢， 直接来问到老师或者问到小助手。如果没有什么问题的话，我们今天就先这样啦。的。